Hello, Namaste. In this presentation, I shall today attempt to deliver as my based on the topic of United Nations, what you can expect from this course. This content has been designed keeping in view the examination carried out by Loksewa Ayog. Furthermore, this content shall be useful for anyone related to studying United Nations. In this topic, you will learn about League of Nations, the introduction of UNO, the purposes of United Nations, the major principles of the UNO, the United Nations Charter, and the organizational structures of UNO. Let's begin from the League of Nations. The League of Nations was product of First World War. It was established on 10 January 1920. Its major purpose was search for international peace and security. There were 62 member countries in League of Nations while it was in climax, but later, at the end, there were only 32 member countries. Its headquarters was located at Geneva, Switzerland. First Secretary General of League of Nations was Sir Eric Drummond. He was from United Kingdom. He was appointed as the Secretary General on 1st August 1920 and he served till 2 July 1933. The last General Secretary or third General Secretary was Sean Lester. He was from Ireland and he was appointed as the Secretary General of League of Nations on 31st August 1940 to 18 April 1946. United Nations. Now, let's begin from the introduction of United Nations. It was established on 24 October 1945. United Nations Charter. Signature on Charter. 50 countries signed on 26 June 1945 at San Francisco. Later, Poland signed on 15 October 1945. The Charter of United Nations was ratified on 24 October 1945. So, 24 October is celebrated as the UN Day. The UN Charter comprises a preamble, 19 chapters, and 111 articles. The United Nations Charter was amended 5 times till 1973. In the first 1965, the Article 23 was amended to enlarge Security Council from 11 members to 15, and in 5th times, in 1973, Article 61 was amended to enlarge Economic and Social Council, to enlarge the members from 27 to 54. Official languages of UNO. Fresca. F stands for French, R stands for Russian, English, Spanish, Chinese, and Arabic. These are the official language of United Nations. Member and membership in UNO. UNO has currently 193 member countries. The last member country of UNO is South Sudan. It became member of UNO on 14 July 2011. Nepal has been member of UNO on 14 December 1955. Nepal, as well as the other 16 countries, will receive the membership of UNO in package deal. These countries are China, Pass, Buru, Fili, Jola. This is the formula. Here, just C stands for Cambodia, as stands for Hungary, I stand for Italy. Similarly, Nepal, Albania, Portugal, Austria, Spain, Sri Lanka, Bulgaria, Romania, Finland, Ireland, Libya, Jordan, and Laos. These 16 countries were received United Nations membership on the package deal. People's Republic China has become United Nations member on 25 October 1971. SAARC countries membership in UNO. In the first, India. India has become the member of UNO on 1945 June 26. India is founding member of UNO. In the second, Afghanistan. It became the member of UNO in 1946 November 19. Pakistan 1947 September 30. Nepal and Sri Lanka 1955 December 14, Maldives 1965 September 21st, Bhutan 1971, September 21st. Bangladesh, 1974, September 16. ASEAN countries' membership in UNO. In the first as well as founding member of UNO was Philippines. Philippines has been member of UNO on 1945, June 26. In the second, Thailand, 1946, December 16. Myanmar, 1948, April 19. Indonesia, 1949, September 28. Laos and Cambodia, 1955, December 14. Malaysia, 1957, September 7. Singapore, 1965, September 1st. Vietnam, 1979, September 20. And at the last, Brunei, 1984, September 21st. The purposes of United Nations. As enshrined in Article 1st, the major purposes of UNO are to maintain international peace and security, to develop friendly relations among nations based on respect for the principle of equal rights and self-determination of peoples, to cooperate in solving international economic, social, cultural, and humanitarian problems, and in promoting respect for human rights and fundamental freedoms. The major principles of the UNO, as stated in Article 2. As explained in the Charter, major principles are to save the future generations from war, reaffirm human rights, and establish equal rights for all persons. In addition, it also aims to promote justice, freedom, and social progress for all the people of all its member states. The United Nations is committed to maintaining international peace and security, developing friendly relations among nations, promoting social progress and better living standards as well as human rights. It works on issues from humanitarian assistance to sustainable development, environmental conservation and protection to refugee repatriation, disaster management to relief to counter terrorism, and disarmament to nuclear non-proliferation. It also works on areas of promoting democracy, rule of law, good governance, gender equality, economic and social development, international health, clearing landmines, expanding food productions, and to build the safer world for the future generations. The United Nations Charter. The UN Charter is amended by the vote of 2/3 of the member states in General Assembly. It is ratified in accordance with their respective constitutional processes by 2/3 of the members of the UN, including all the permanent members of the Security Council. The official language of UNO: French, Russian, English, Spanish, Chinese, and Arabic are the official languages, and English and French are the working languages of UNO. Membership. Membership of the United Nations is open to all independent and peace-loving nations. Organizational structures of the UNO. This is the formula to remember its 6 major organs. The UN Charter has designated 6 principal organs for the organization. In addition, the Charter has allowed the General Assembly to make agreements linking other self-governing organizations to the United Nations as specialized agencies, and it allowed the Security Council to create peacekeeping forces. The principal organs of the United Nations are General Assembly, Economic and Social Council, Security Council, Trusteeship Council, International Court of Justice, and Secretariat. Now, General Assembly. Composition of General Assembly. It is a paramount or central organ of the United Nations. It is the main deliberative organ, which is composed of representatives of all member states, each of which has 1 vote, but may send up to 5 representatives. Since it is the largest organ comprising all the member states, it is sometimes called the town meeting of the world. Voting rights in General Assembly. Decision on important matters such as recommendations on peace and security, admission of new members, selection of non-permanent members of the Security Council, expulsion of members, and budgetary questions require a two-thirds majority. All of the questions are decided by majority vote. Sessions in General Assembly. The General Assembly's regular session begins each year on the third Tuesday in September and continues usually until mid-December. At the start of each regular session, the Assembly elects a new President, 21 Vice Presidents, and the Chairman of the Assembly's 6 main committees. The presidency of the Assembly rotates each year among 5 groups of states: African, Asian, Eastern European, and Western European and other states. There is also provision for a special session and emergency session. Committees in General Assembly. The General Assembly has several committees and subsidiary organs for performing its role properly. The 6 main committees are Disarmament and International Security Committee, Economic and Financial Committee, Social, Humanitarian and Cultural Committee, Special Political and Decolonization Committee, Administrative and Budgetary Committee, and Legal Committee. Power and functions of General Assembly: to appoint the Secretary General, to approve the UN budget, elect the 15 judges of the International Court of Justice, discuss, debate, and recommend pertaining to international peace and security, to elect the non-permanent members of the Security Council and other bodies. Economic and Social Council, ECOSOC. Article 61st, Chapter 10 of the Charter specifies the guidelines for composition of the Economic and Social Council. It was made up originally of 18 members. In 1966, the membership was enlarged to 27. In 1980, it stood at 54 members. The Economic and Social Council comprises of 54 members elected by the General Assembly for a term of 3 years. The members are elected as the following: from African region 14, West Europe and other Caribbean 13, from Asia 11, Latin America 10, and East Europe 6. Voting rights in Economic and Social Council. Each member is entitled to have 1 vote. The decisions are made by a majority of members. Regional commissions under Economic and Social Council. 5 regional commissions have been established under the Economic and Social Council that deals with special problems of different geographical areas. They are as follows. From the African region, it is located at Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. For the Asia and Pacific region, it is located at Bangkok, Thailand. For European region, it is located at Geneva, Switzerland. For Latin America and the Caribbean, it is located at Santiago, Chile. And for the Western Asia, located at Baghdad, Iraq. Role of Economic and Social Council. The Economic and Social Council helps in the establishment of world peace by helping lots of poor, wounded, and illiterate people. It performs important functions of coordinating specialized agencies so as to avoid duplication of a similar work by more than one specialized agencies and to make them more efficacious in the performance. The functions and powers of Economic and Social Council are to make recommendations to promote respect for and observance of human rights, to make or initiate studies, reports, and recommendations on economic, social, cultural, educational, health, and related matters, to coordinate the activities of the specialized agencies and obtain regular reports from them, to set up subsidiary organs to assist its works, and it has the 3 years of the terms of service. Security Council. The Security Council is one of the principal organs of the United Nations, which consists of 15 members, out of which 5 are permanent and 10 are non-permanent members. USA, UK, France, Russia, and People's Republic of China are the permanent members of the Council. The 10 non-permanent members are elected by the General Assembly for 2 years from among the member states on the basis of contribution. Each member state is entitled to send one representative in the Council. Non-permanent members are elected as follows: from the Afro-Asian sector, 5 members, Latin America, 2, West Europe and other countries, 2, and East Europe, 1. Voting rights in Security Council. Each member of the Security Council is entitled to give one vote. Decisions on procedural matters are made by an affirmative vote of at least 9 out of 15 members. Decisions on substantive matters require 9 votes, including the concurring votes of all 5 permanent members. This is the rule of great power on unanimity, often referred to as the veto power. All the 5 permanent members have exercised the right of veto at one time or another. If a permanent member does not support a decision but does not wish to block it through a veto, it may abstain from voting. The decisions of the Council are known as UN Security Council resolutions. If there is a dispute as to whether the proposal to be submitted in the Security Council is of procedural or substantive nature, veto can be applied for the first time, and if the same issue comes under discussion and the veto is used again, which is termed as double veto. Functions and powers of Security Council: to maintain international peace and security in accordance with the principles and purposes of the UN, to investigate any dispute or situation that might lead to international friction independently, to determine the existence of a threat to the peace and to recommend what action should be taken, to take military action against an aggression, to formulate plans for the establishment of a system to regulate armaments, and to recommend the General Assembly to the admission of new members and the appointment of General Secretary. Trusteeship Council. The Trusteeship Council was established to help ensure that trust territories were administered in the best interest of their inhabitants and of international peace and security. Territories taken from nations defeated at the end of World War II have all now attained self-government or independence. The last was Palau, formerly part of the Trust Territory of the Pacific Islands, which became a member state of the United Nations in December 1994. International Court of Justice. International Court of Justice is located at Netherlands, Hague. It is principal judicial organ of the United Nations. It was established in 26 June 1945. Its members are 15 judges, elected by General Assembly and Security Council. The judges serve for a term of 9 years, with the term of 5 judges expiring every 3rd year, and decisions are made by the majority vote of participating judges. 9 judges constitute a quorum. In case of tie, the president of the court has a casting vote. The court is open to all states which are parties to its statute and automatically includes all members of the United Nations. The functions of International Court of Justice: to settle legal disputes submitted to it by the member states in accordance with international law, to suggest the UN and its specialized agencies about legal matters. Jurisdiction of International Court of Justice. Its statute is an integral part of the United Nations Charter. The statute confers 3 types of jurisdiction upon the court: compulsory, advisory, and voluntary. The court usually entertains those cases that involve legal disputes between the states, which are submitted by them for resolution, and also request for advisory opinions on legal questions refer to the International Court of Justice by the United Nations organs and its specialized agencies. According to Article 38 of the statute, the court decides disputes by applying international conventions establishing rules recognized by the contesting states, international customs as evidence of a general practice accepted by the law, the general principles of law recognized by the nations, and the teachings of the most highly qualified publicists of the various nations. The court's role is to settle, in accordance with international law, legal disputes submitted to it by states and to give advisory opinions on legal questions referred to it by authorized United Nations organs and specialized agencies. The court is composed of 15 judges who are elected for terms of office of 9 years by the United Nations General Assembly and the Security Council. And at the last, the Secretariat. The Secretariat, an international staff working in duty stations around the world, carries out the diverse day-to-day work of the organization. It services the other principal organs of the United Nations and administers the programs and policies laid down by them. At its head is the Secretary General, who is appointed by the General Assembly on the recommendation of the Security Council for a 5-year renewable term. The duties carried out by the Secretariat are as varied as the problems dealt with by the United Nations. These range from administering peacekeeping operations to mediating international disputes, from surveying economic and social trends and problems to preparing studies on human rights and sustainable development. Secretariat staff also informs the world's communications media about the work of the United Nations, organize international conferences on issues of worldwide concern, and interpret speeches and translate documents into the organization's official languages. The Secretariat has a staff of about 8,900 under the regular budget drawn from some 170 countries. As international civil servants, staff members and the Secretary General answer to the United Nations alone for their activities and take an oath not to seek or receive instruction from any government or outside authority. Under the Charter, each member state undertakes to respect the exclusively international character of the responsibilities of the Secretary General and the staff and to refrain from seeking to influence them improperly in the discharge of their duties. The United Nations, while headquartered in New York, maintains a significant presence in Addis Ababa, Bangkok, Beirut, Geneva, Nairobi, Santiago, and Vienna, and has offices all over the world. Now, functions of Secretariat. Providing editorial, translation, and preparation of drafts, keeping records of proceedings, furnishing documentation and library facilities, as well as legal and procedural advice to the General Assembly, the Security Council, the Economic and Social Council, and their subcommittees. Conducting studies and providing information. It acts as a storehouse of information, providing reports and other documents containing information, analysis, historical backgrounds, research, findings, policy suggestions, etc., that facilitate the deliberations and decision-making by the legislative organs and their subsidiary bodies. Providing Secretariat services to the legislative organs and their subsidiary bodies. Arranging for dissemination to the public of information on UN activities and decisions. Now, the major functions of Secretary General. To be the chief administrative officer of the organization, to perform functions assigned to him by General Assembly and the 3 councils, to make an annual report to the General Assembly on the work of the organization, to perform activities to maintain peace and security, to appoint the Secretariat staff under regulations established by the General Assembly, to carry out international summits and conferences. 10 Secretary General have served in United Nations so far since its inception in 1945. The current Secretary General is Mr. Antonio Guterres of the Portugal, who took office on 1st January 2017. The Secretary Generals of the United Nations till date are as follows: Tryggve, he was from Norway. His term of service in the United Nations was 1946 to 1953. Dag Hammarskjöld, he was from Sweden. Term of his service was in the United Nations as the Secretary General 1953 to 1960. U Thant from Myanmar, he served in the United Nations from 1961 to 1971 as the Secretary General. Kurt Waldheim, he was from Austria. He worked in the United Nations as the Secretary General from 1972 to 1982. Javier Perez de Cuellar, he was from Peru, and then he served in the United Nations as the Secretary General from 1982 to 1991. Boutros Ghali, he was from Egypt. He served in the United Nations from 1992 to 1996. Kofi Annan, he also was from Ghana. He served in the United Nations as the Secretary General from 1997 to 2006. Ban Ki-moon from South Korea, he served in United Nations as the Secretary General from 1 January 2007 to 2016. And currently, Antonio Guterres is working as the Secretary General of the UNO. He was from the Portugal. He is working from 2017 January 1st to till today. As we bring this presentation on United Nations to a close, we once again thank you for allowing us to be here with this presentation and hope that this activity has given you a much clearer understanding on subject matter. If you have any comments, queries, and piece of advice for us on this issue, please kindly drop down. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you once again. Bye-bye.